Hi, fourth graders from Shady Grove. This is Miss Baggett, and I just wanted to give you a few pointers on producers and consumers. That's the science unit that you guys are going to work on for us this week. And I just want to give you a few tips about producers and consumers. First of all, both of them are considered living. To be a living organism, you have to go through several different processes to be categorized as living. One thing is you have to have energy or make energy, and that's kind of a metabolism is the fancy word for that. You have to be able to grow, develop, evolve, and there's a few other. There's about 8 characteristics that put you into the living category. The fancy scientific name for living is called biotic. So if we refer back to producers and consumers, something they have in common is they're both biotic. Producers are different though from consumers. Producers have a way of making their own energy, and that makes them different from a consumer. How do these producers make their own energy? Well, to discuss that, you have to realize there's 2 main categories of producers. There's photosynthetic producers and there's chemosynthetic producers. Chemosynthetic is one of those producers that you really don't talk about that much at this age level, but I wanted you guys to hear the word and realize that there's more than just photosynthetic producers. When I say that word photosynthetic producer, it just means they go through photosynthesis. And for those producers to survive, they need 3 main things. The first main thing that they need is the sun. It is the biggest driver of all life on Earth. So the sun is the biggest driver of all life on Earth. The other thing that they need is also really important is carbon dioxide and water. So there's 3 things: sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. These organisms, again, are able to make their own energy. That energy, after they take in those 3 things that they produce, is a sugar, and it's called glucose. The other set that we're going to talk about are consumers, and they're not able to make their own energy. They have to consume something to be able to stay alive. There's different ways in which they do it though. Most people say there's 3 types of consumers, but there's really 4 types of consumers, but one of them's different. One category is herbivore, the second one is carnivore, the third one is omnivore, and the last one that's a little different is called a decomposer. A decomposer sometimes appears that it's its own category because it has some different aspects to it, but he or she, the decomposers, are still a consumer. If you're a herbivore, you're going to eat plants only. If you're a carnivore, you're going to eat meat only. And if you're an omnivore, you're going to eat plants and meat. Most humans are considered an omnivore. However, there's an exception to the rule. If you're a vegetarian, you might be considered a herbivore. The last category of decomposers, they're considered consumers, but they're slightly different because instead of eating the food, they actually absorb the nutrients. And an example of this is a mushroom attached to grass or a tree. That mushroom is still consuming nutrients, but they are absorbing those nutrients from that other organism for their survival. I hope that this little introduction to producers and consumers finds you well. I hope you enjoy the lessons and the PowerPoints that are beneath. And if you have any questions, feel free to email Miss Metter or myself. Enjoy. Bye-bye.